Curious George makes a new friend. The man in the yellow hat had gone on many adventures in his life, but finding George was his greatest. After bringing George back to New York City, the man discovered he had his hands full. George was a monkey after all, and was a rather curious one. After going on so many adventures, the man decided to take George up to his mother's house in upstate New York for a vacation.
George, there's so much countryside you can explore. You'll have so much fun.
The duo approached an old Victorian-era house standing proud up on its hill. George lit up with excitement as he imagined all the playing he would do. The man got out of the car as his mother greeted him.
That must be George in the car. I've heard so much about him.
George exits the car with glee.
Come here, give me a hug. Go explore, you curious little thing.
George smiles. He has never been happier. As he pushes open the heavy wood front door, George discovers how big the house truly is. Being small like a toddler, the house is like a castle to George. It feels never-ending as he runs along the corridors upstairs. Eventually, George comes to a corridor with a dead end. He notices a thick string hanging from the ceiling. Without looking, he tugs on it and a set of old wooden stairs unfold from above, revealing a dark entryway. George has never seen an attic before and decides to explore. When he gets to the top of the stairs, he sees a familiar object on the wall to his right, a light switch. He flicks it up, illuminating the dusty room in light. He sees on the other end of the room a great big blue trunk on the floor near an old table. He walks over and sees a book on the table. The book reads, How to Summon a Demon. But come on, he's a monkey. He can't read. So George flips through the pages and, after seeing no bright, colorful pictures, sets it back down. He opens the trunk. It is big and blue after all. He must know what is inside it. He rummages around for a minute before finding a game board, setting it down on the floor. He picks up the board's planchette, placing it on the surface. Because George is a monkey who cannot fully grasp human concepts like board games, he had no idea he was playing with a Ouija board. With nothing happening, George grows bored, and as he gets up to leave, the planchette piece starts moving along the board all on its own. Mystified, George sits back down as the planchette starts spelling something. The board starts spelling Z-O, Z-O, over and over again. George begins to feel frightened, the lights in the room flickering on and off. And as George gets up to run, he feels a presence force itself over him. There is a monkey scream. Then there is silence.
I'm so happy to be able to take a vacation finally.
All those years out in the jungles, you've earned a break.
A loud bang comes from upstairs.
What was that?
Just then, many loud bangs and crashes sound from upstairs, followed by unsettling monkey screams.
It must be George.
The man drops his cup, shattering it on the floor, and runs up toward the noises.
George!
He lugs himself up the stairs and around a corner to see the pull-down stairs. When he reaches the attic stairs, the noises stop. He slowly climbs the stairs, poking his head up through the doorway. What he sees startles him to his core. He sees George pinned to a wall, upside down, his head turned backward on his shoulders, facing the man. George smiles as a demonic voice struggles to speak. A few hours later, a horse carriage pulls up outside the house. An old man gets out and walks up to the front door. This man is wearing a weathered black trench coat. Underneath, the white collar of a priest is visible.
Oh, hello, Father. Good to see you again.
Hello, it's good to see you.
I'm afraid it's my son's monkey companion, George. He's got into one of my trunks. The blue trunk upstairs.
Not the blue trunk.
Moments later, the priest enters the attic. The man is still there, keeping an eye on George.
Hello, I am the exorcist your mother called. I'm here to help.
The priest pulls out from his inner breast pocket a small, worn book. It looks like it could be hundreds of years old. He starts speaking magical phrases and begins the exorcism. After many hours of struggle, the demon laughs through George's body, and the priest yells at the top of his lungs. A loud crack and a thunderous roar ring out. George's body floats momentarily and then drops to the floor.
I am sorry, but George is dead. Getting the demon out took more of a toll on him than we could have imagined.
George!
Decades later, the man drives up to his mother's house, now in a state of decay. The house is old, its windows boarded up, the grass around it a deathly brown. The man enters the house, scratching his now gray head, reminiscing of the past. Eventually, he enters the attic and sees the Ouija board laying on the floor, where they left it all those years ago. He reaches down, wipes away the dust, and places the planchette on its surface.
Oh, George, are you out there?
A few seconds later, the planchette moves around the letters of the board, spelling yes.
Oh, George, I've missed you, old friend.
As the man begins crying from joy, the board starts spelling out Z-O,
Oh, George.
Z-O, over and over again.